Okay, here we're working on the Alonzo Roberts quiz. So first, we want to get all the facts of the quiz. Um, we know that he thinks he'll need $12,000 for expenses for school. So we'll put down tuition, 12,000. We also know that he believes that he can price his wedding shoes between $750 and $2,500. So his min price is $750. His max price is $2,500. He knows that he's going to have to purchase two new iPhones and a control module in order for him to do his shoot. So his phones are $795 each, and phones needed are two, and the control module is $95. The material cost for each wedding includes an HD data tape that he puts on the master. So HD data tape for $23, and 75 USB thumb drives. So thumb drives, 75. Cost per drive. There's some discrepancy about this, so I'll do it at $495, and then once the model is complete, I'll show you what it looks like at the other price. So $495. Then he has a choice between purchasing a duplicator or using a duplication service. So duplicator price is $41.79. Duplication service is $1 each. Now, he's going to shoot weddings, and he doesn't know what his quantity is going to be, but he knows that his quantity is going to be based on his price. So once he has a price, let's say $750, because that's the minimum, he will know the quantity, and the quantity is an equation. So it's quantity equals 40,000 divided by price. And let's go ahead with our quantity and put a floor on that. Comma 1. And I believe there's one more fact of the case. So the maximum number of weddings he can book is 30. And the way that we can do that is we can wrap an if statement around the floor. So we can say if this, well actually let's do it a different way. So quantity, we'll call this quantity possible. And quantity actual. And quantity actual is equal to if the quantity possible is greater than the max, then put the max, else put the quantity possible. So the max weddings is 30. Okay, so if we charge 1,000, that means the possible is 40, so we could still only do 30. If we charge 2,000, and now we start seeing the quantity actual changing. Now our revenue is going to be equal to our price times our quantity actual. Our cost of goods sold, well first we need a unit cost per wedding. And his unit cost per wedding is equal to the cost of the HD data tape plus 75 times the cost per drive. So $394.25. And then potentially there's the cost of the duplication. So we're going to need a decision. Duplicator, B or S. So are we going to buy it or are we going to use the service? So what we can have here is say equals to if duplicator is equal to B, which means you bought it, then our cost of goods sold is equal to our unit cost times our quantity actual. Otherwise, it's equal to our unit cost plus 75 times the cost of duplicating each drive times our quantity actual. So 93.85 if we buy, I'm sorry, 7,800 in this case if we buy, 93.85 if we use the service and we have to pay for each one of the copies. Either way, our gross margin is equal to our revenue minus our cost of goods sold. And for our expenses, the only real expense that we're given in the case is the fact that he needs potentially to purchase this equipment. So if he does purchase the equipment, he has to pay depreciation. Well, there's some equipment he has to pay anyway. So he has depreciation on shooting equipment, and then he has depreciation on the duplicator. And in order to figure out depreciation, I'm going to need some information. So we're going to say salvage value for the shooting equipment and salvage value for the duplicator. And then we have useful life of the shooting equipment and useful life of the duplicator. So let's say that the duplicator is good for 3 years and the useful life of the shooting equipment is 2 years. The salvage value for the shooting equipment, I mean, iPhones generally always have a salvage value. So let's say it's $100 per phone and nothing for the module. So that's $200. And the salvage value for the duplicator, you can pick any number, but I'm going to say 200. So with this, I can see that the depreciation for the shooting equipment is equal to the purchase price, which is the number of phones times the price per phone plus the control module minus the salvage value divided by the useful life. And that's the depreciation for 1 year for the shooting equipment. Depreciation for the duplicator is equal to the duplicator price minus the salvage value of the duplicator divided by the useful life of the duplicator. And again, that's per year. Okay. So we only we're going to pay the depreciation on the shooting equipment. We don't have a choice. And the depreciation for the duplicator, we only play if we buy the duplicator. So we'd say if the duplicator decision is equal to B, then we're going to pay the depreciation, else we pay 0. Okay? And so we have total expenses. Now, in reality, he would probably have other expenses like business cards, website, cell phone, other things of that nature. But this is a fairly simple problem. And then his net is the gross margin minus his total expenses. So if we buy it, we clear $30,000. But if we use the service, we clear $29,000. So there's really not a huge difference for those. Now, if I change this price here, the cost per drive, I will get the numbers that we would see instead for the other price that was in the test. So either way, you have the answer you need.